Hey, welcome back, knife nerds and everyday care people. It's the Big Canucker here, and coming at you with a video that it's a little bit of a callback or an answer back to my buddy across the Great Big Sea, Patty Potato Peeler. Watched one of his videos the other day, and he did a video on top 10 work knives that he used, top 10 work knives. So I thought, well, I think I will answer that back. That's an incredibly interesting little conversation, but I think I'm going to do mine just a little bit differently. I've got work knives that I would take and do work, my regular job. Before I got injured, I was a salesman for a company called Worth Canada. And not that I did lots of cutting carpet and drywall and all that kind of stuff, but I broke down tremendous amounts of cardboard and opened up lots of packaging, and I was building things and and a lot of those things. So these are the knives that I would take to go to my work every day. I needed kind of a good stout heavy duty knife, but I also did some office work too as well. We'd have meetings up in Edmonton, and a lot of office staff. So I broke it down into 5 knives that I would use out in the field, and then I brought 5 knives that I would use in an office setting. So hopefully that kind of makes a little bit of sense too as well. So let's go to the other magic camera and let's have a look. We'll do the 5 knives in no particular order whatsoever that I'm going to do. The work knives first, and then we'll do the office knives second, and then we'll do some bonus too as well, some multi-tools. All right, so first thing we're going to do is this knife here, right here. This is the Chris Reeves Umnumzaan. Now, very, very few of my knives are Save Queens, and this one here is no exception. This is quite a pricey knife, and this was one of the most expensive knives that I've ever purchased. And one of the things about it is I really hated the snail trail that the regular finish gave. So what I ended up doing is I took this and I smoothed it out with just some really super high grit sandpaper, took the scale off, and I just rubbed it because I loved that feeling, even though it made it a little bit more slippery. I can send this knife back to Chris Reeves for a spot treatment, and they'll redo the finish on it, so I wasn't super worried, but I have no plans on selling this knife. So I mean, to me, I don't have really any Save Queens. She's an S35 VN hollow ground knife, and a lot of people don't realize how big these Chris Reeves knives are, and especially the Umnumzaan. Really 2 incredibly stout, thick pieces of titanium, an S35 VN hollow ground blade with kind of a nice, good, tip on it too as well. Even though you're not supposed to use them as a pry bar, sometimes you give them a little bit of a pry. And this thing is razor sharp, holds an edge all day long. All right, now let's go to another big monster. Now this one here is the Recon 1 by Cold Steel, and how can you not include a Cold Steel knife in a list of hard working knives? The triad lock on this thing is one of the strongest locks that are made out there. It is incredible what this knife will go through. And now the only thing that I kind of really wanted here, and I'm going to throw it out there again, if you have got yourself a Tonto Recon 1 that you'd like to trade, I would be definitely interested in doing that. I've done a little bit to this knife. I gave it a mirror polish, and I put a sharpening choil in there, and I tuned it all up, and it's a gorgeous knife. It's got the CTS XHP blade, and I would prefer, although it's not a deal breaker, if you want to trade me a Recon 1 with a Tonto, I would prefer the CTS XHP, and even the black. I like the black handle, so that's just something to throw out there. Yeah, if you want to do a trade, I'd love to do a trade. But an incredibly tough, rugged knife. Cold Steel has got their heat treat bang on with the CTS XHP. Holds an edge forever and a day. If you're a working man, a Cold Steel knife is definitely one to do it for you. All right, so this is a new addition here. This here is the Spyderco Subvert, and this thing here has got a monster slab of S30V on it. It's got 2 slabs of titanium. As you can see, the titanium slabs that are on here they're the same thing. I think they're the same thickness as the Chris Reeve Umnumzaan, but you've also got the added G10 on the outside to kind of round it up. It's a knife that really, really fills your hand, and it is drop shut action. As you can see here, and flickability is tremendous. Now, this little bit of a recurve here is such a sweet spot for cutting cardboard. I broke down a whack load of cardboard when I got this knife, and it just seemed when I was ready to go, this, man, oh man, did it ever get caught right up in there, and it zipped through cardboard like a lightsaber through Obi-Wan Kenobi. And the only thing I'd say, it doesn't have a really sharp tip. If you're doing a lot of piercing, this might not be the one for you, but for me, I was doing lots of slicing and package opening, so this one here was a tremendous one for me. The Subvert, and I hated the orange, so I ended up dyeing this. Love the new color. All right, here is another knife that is perhaps not as stout a blade as far as thickness, but this is the Endura 4 with the ZDP 189 steel on it. And ZDP 189 is one of your top edge holding steels available. This nice thin profile goes through cardboard like me through cookies. Not only that, it's got a really nice stout mid-back lock with this FRN handle. Now, the FRN handle is basically a really, really nice material if you're going to be having an environment where it's a little bit slippery. This does grip without, I think, doing lots of damage to your pockets. All my good jeans have got ripped up pockets from some pretty tremendous G10, grippy G10, but this FRN is chemical resistant. It takes cold really well, takes heat really well, and it is extremely tough knife. Now this one here, if I remember here, I do believe this has got stainless steel skeletonized liners in here. Not super heavy, but a really big flat ground blade that'll go through cardboard like crazy. And then now here is my last working knife. Now, it was down between, I would say, the Paramilitary 2 and this here Shaman. And the reason I think the Shaman won over a little bit is just because it's got a little bit thicker of a blade. The cut's just as nice. The Paramilitary 2 cuts just as nice. Now, this here is not as grippy as the PM2. This G10 has kind of been smoothed out. So if you're working in a Vaseline factory, this probably is not the one for you. But for me, I didn't need to really have lots of grip. I just wanted to use it to open up packaging, and rides really, really nice in my pocket. Does a fantastic job breaking down cardboard. It's extremely tough. I love the flickability of it with this compression lock. So the Shaman, number 5. So these are all my knives that I would kind of, not every knife I have that I'd use for work, but these are the top 5 that I have. So let's kind of maybe put those away here, and let's get some ones that are going to be the office knife. That Subvert, boy, that bugger bit me 2 times in the first 2 days that I owned it. It's sharp. All right, and this is in no particular order too as well. I also, a long time ago, worked inside an office where I would, and I had a pocket knife every once in a while. Like when my office days, like shirt and tie and suit and the whole thing, I didn't really carry a lot of pocket knives, but I always had kind of like a Swiss Army knife or something like that I would carry with me, or just nothing that was too spectacular or fancy. And it wasn't until I got into really break down cardboard that I got into the knives. But in an office setting, I think that's a lot of people are a little bit worried about, pulling out a murdery type blade, and you're going to have some snowflake, for a better word, complain to management that you've got a knife. And dude, get over it. That's all I got to say. I guess, but you know what? I'm a little bit of a snowflake myself too when it comes to certain things. So I am Mr. Liberal here, by the way. So not Liberal Party, but I'm progressive. There we go. All right. Didn't want to get into the politics, damn it. But let's go over the office knives now, and in no particular order. And this is one here I'm actually carrying today, and it's based upon a custom redback. And oh my goodness, the Spyderco Capera. Oh, I almost forgot this. You know what? Even though it's got a little bit of a lengthy blade, almost a 3.5-inch blade, it's kind of a thin profile. It's a little bit goofy looking, and it's got this really tremendously classy carbon fiber on it. I love this carbon fiber. And even if this is just a little bit, out of some people's comfort range as far as office setting, to me, It's a great letter opener. It's nice and light. It carries really, really well. And it's not going to scare your average office person away. All right. Here, of course, we've got another Spyderco. This one here is a little smaller, a little bit more aggressive looking blade, but still really, really great for opening up cardboard, packaging, leather, stuff like that. It is the Spyderco Chubby. This, again, here is Michael Birch Custom, made after Michael Birch Custom, and just a couple of great slabs of titanium on here. I love these classy little 3-hole design. This hollow ground, almost to a spear point here. It is a Micro Walker liner lock, and I've got a little bit of a kind of a cut on the tip of my thumb, and it's damn well hurting. So it's still not super flicky, but you can spider flick on a good day. Just today is not the good day for me. All right, so that is the Michael Birch. And now here we have a Civivi. Oh, and I'll be darned if I can remember this bugger. I think it's called a Civivi X Arch or Arch. I think this has got little D2 steel on it. Extremely flat, compact, hollow ground D2 blade with a liner lock on it. Now this one here came as a gray. I actually dyed it purple, and I just really, really like the purple, and it is a front flipper knife, and I'm a lot better at that. But damn, little cut is just driving me crazy here. So, little Civivi X Arch goes in the pocket. You can even keep this in the front pocket. I think if you pull that out in the office, nobody's going to bat an eyelash at that one. Here we have also got another gentleman's folder here too as well. And I'll be darned if I can remember this one either. Oh, I should have done a little bit of research. I did get this from Massdrop. And, oh, darn it. But, again, this one here too as well. It was blue scaled, and I dyed it purple too as well. And the scale here seemed to have brought out almost like a little bit of a wooden pattern. But it's just a fantastic little flipper. S35VN blade on this one, which is, I think if you're at an office, you definitely don't need to have any of the super steels. But, for me, it's really, really nice. I'm a little bit of a steel snob. I'm sure that you could do with 440C or 440HC or HCR13 MOV at an office if you just, open up the occasional cardboard box. But I like to have, I think, at least D2 and up as far as I'm concerned. And then, of course, we've got the Spyderco Smock. And this is, a lot of people really hate this carbon fiber over this G10 laminate. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it looks good. It doesn't look as near as good as this Capara carbon fiber, but you know what? It's a nice straight knife. The flick factor on this is off the charts. S30V steel. It's got a button lock. It's got some fancy speed holes in it, so you're gonna not scare your cubicle neighbor or anything like that. And it's big enough to get the job done, yet small enough that it's not going to threaten anybody. So that is my number one, and this is like my number one knife in a lot of categories actually. Even though this is in no particular order, if I could only carry one, it'd be a toss-up between these two, with probably the Smock winning because I love the fact that you can open it up many different ways, and I love that button compression lock. Spyderco, please, please, I will give you my next born male child if you make some more Spyderco knives with this compression lock, button lock on it. Love it. Absolutely love it. All right, so I got to say thank you to Mr. Patty Potato Peeler for giving me this idea. And here's a little bit of a bonus here too as well. All right. Now, normally, I'm not just carrying a knife with me. I'm also carrying a multi-tool. And if you're going to have a multi-tool on there, I think I'm going to go with these ones here. Okay, so if I'm doing office work or I'm doing work that's inside and I want to put a multi-tool on my belt, I'm either going to go with the Spyderco Wave, hello, Leatherman Wave, or the Victorinox Spirit, either X or just regular black, because of their size. They're very, very small and compact. They can do a great job, and I hate having stuff caught on my belt on a chair, especially if you're getting up from a chair. And also, I think they're small enough to hide under a suit jacket on a belt if you needed to. Now, if you're going to be doing some really, really heavy duty work, you definitely want to look at something that's a little bit bigger, a little bit more capable, and that's going to be your Leatherman Surge, because it is way more capable. It's a knife, it's a multi-tool. I think that you would be able to go on a desert island and survive with more so than these two. Not that these aren't fantastic, just if this one here seems to be the more heavy duty of the pair. And for me, it really, really broke down into having to fix a faucet. I was able to fix a faucet with this one way more than I was with this one, because this was able to wrap around and grip a larger diameter pipe. All right, so hope that provide some insight to you guys. I appreciate you guys stop by to see me. If you like what you saw, please give me a thumbs up as well as a subscription. I really, really appreciate it. We're getting up on 600 now, and I have to say thank you guys so much. And I also have to say thank you to Patty from way across the ocean for giving me this idea and just tagging us all as YouTubers. He's been a friend to us small guys who were just having some fun out here, slinging some steel stories, and he always promotes us and backs us, and I got to thank him very, very much. All right, guys, now we're not out of the woods yet with the whole thing, so please stay safe out there. Keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker, saying adios.